It's going to be another great episode of The Joy of Hauling. I'm your host, Ed Plow, otherwise known as Big Rig Ed, joined as always by my trusty little co-pilot, my dorky truck pup, Trip. Stuttered on his name there. His name is Trip. I need to be able to say that correctly. Oh, and there's somebody out here with a little puppy. Make sure I don't run them over. I don't know if y'all got a chance to see him or not. A big old puppy. Every dog is a puppy in my eyes. And be old as hell, I'll still call him a puppy. Hey, this time I've actually got a stop sign right here. Don't have to worry about almost running over a little, what was that? Was it a Chevy Impala? That little guy just came running around that corner there in that last episode. Alright, let's get out on the road. If anyone's ever wondered what it's like to just absolutely floor a semi-truck, this is it. We're pretty close to being fully loaded this time. I think we're about 75,000 pounds, give or take. We're going up a slight incline. Alright. Back out on the open road. This episode's going to be a little bit darker, I suppose. The reason why is we're up a little bit before the sun. It's a cloudy morning. Yesterday it was just raining. It was just raining all day long. I'm just glad that it seems like we got a little reprieve this morning. Oh, nope, never mind. It just started back up again. Got a nice little spray on my windshield. Let's see. Let's see what the future holds for us. So today we are on I-81 northbound. We just crossed the border into the great state of New York. That was the New York Welcome Center there where we were at. Nice, beautiful landscape. It's just before sunrise. Not sure what the clouds are going to say about that sunrise. I'm hoping we get some nice colors here over the next half hour. We are hauling a load of scrap recyclable paper. So, something to think about, as you're riding around this country, more for you non-drivers than maybe our professional drivers. I think a lot of the professional drivers, they learn this pretty early on in their careers. You'd be surprised how many of these van trucks driving down the road are not hauling anything valuable at all. They're just hauling, what we would consider garbage that we're going to recycle and turn into something usable again, or sometimes we're just hauling straight up garbage. Sometimes, a recycle center will get a load of, what they think are recyclable materials, and it turns out, oh no, we can't recycle this. Well, someone's got to haul that stuff out. Sometimes that's us. My company tries not to do the garbage loads for obvious reasons, but we do the recycle loads. Nothing wrong with us doing our part to help make this beautiful planet just a little bit greener. So, we do lots of scrap paper and scrap aluminum. And then we also do a lot of hauling of the finished products that come out on the other end. I actually did a load of recycled aluminum just earlier this week. Picked it up out of Ulrichsville, Ohio, and that went to one of the west suburbs of Chicago. Uh-oh. Baby puppy dropped his whale. There you go, bud. He's awake. He's over there. He's surrounded by all of his favorite toys. You might hear him squeak here in a second. He's trying. He's got a little mouth. He can't really do a whole lot. Oh, there he goes. So yeah, so we picked up a load of scrap recycled paper. I think it was Hazleton, Pennsylvania was the name of the town. And now we are headed to a recycle plant. I think the town is Lowville, New York. Yep, he found that squeaker. That's a happy puppy right there. I wish I could safely pan the camera around. He is so stinking cute. If you're a trucker and you've ever wanted to get yourself a truck pup and you haven't gotten around to doing it yet, and you're wondering what kind of dog you should get, really recommend looking into Dorkies. Now, I know I always call him my dorky little truck pup, and I don't mean that as an insult. It's not that he looks like a dork or anything like that. Well, it kind of fits. But Dorkies are what we call a Dachshund Yorkie mix. A lot of people that get a chance to meet Trip, they always want to know what kind of dog he is. They always get a little confused when I tell them he's a Dorkie, and then once I tell them, yeah, it's a mixture of a Dachshund and a Yorkie, and they're like, oh, that fits. I don't know, it's kind of interesting. It's surprising you don't see a lot more of them. They're so just stinking adorable. Not the easiest or smartest dog. Well, they're not the smartest dogs. They're not the easiest to train. You know, he doesn't do a whole lot of tricks or anything. He's gotten pretty good at giving me high five. Started doing that. Sometimes we'll make a delivery or something, and I'll be getting back in the truck, and he'll be standing on the driver's seat, and I'll just raise up my hand and say high five. He just gives me a little bap on my hand. It works. But he's housebroken, so I guess that's the most that any of us can really hope for, really. You know, as far as sitting and rolling over and all the rest of it. You know, it's nice if they can do that, but the one thing I need to work on training him better on is I need to get his recall better. He sees something out there and he wants it, he will not listen to you anymore. You know, he knows his name, you know, he answers to it, but he gets selective hearing real quick. Once you are no longer a priority, he stops listening to you. But beyond all that, he doesn't chew on anything in the truck. He's chewed up a couple of phone mounts. That's kind of a long story. But I don't know what possessed him. It was just over the course of a weekend, he just decided he was going to start chewing phone mounts, and I blew through 2 of them before he finally got the hint. Oh, I'm not supposed to chew on those. Daddy doesn't like it. He hasn't chewed on them since. But no, he doesn't tear up the truck, and he doesn't act aggressively towards anybody or anything, really. He has never met a human that was mean to him, and so every human that he sees is his new best friend. I should probably turn down my GPS here. I know that squawking gets a little annoying. It's helpful for me driving whenever I'm not recording the joy of hauling, but doesn't make for easy listening out on the road. Got to make sure I don't miss any turns though. Alright, so we gained a little bit of speed coming down this hill. We're going to run those engine brakes. Slow it on down to 55. It's 6:30 in the morning, everyone. Time to wake up. Big Rig Ed and Sully are coming through. Had a little bit of maintenance trouble with this trailer picking it up yesterday. There was a drop and hook at that recycle plant, and picked up this trailer, and I don't know if it was the previous driver or the yard driver, but had a couple of tires that were just completely flat spotted. Were dragged along God knows how long. So lost a couple hours getting those two tires fixed. I was gonna film another Don't Drop Junk segment, but I got to the repair shop and I figured it was going to be a long wait, so I was like, well, I'm going to go check in first. And then while I'm waiting, I can go ahead and film my Don't Drop Junk segment. And turns out they were like, alright, come on around, door 4. Oh, alright then. Not going to look a gift horse in the mouth, that's for sure. I was just really happy that it was just a couple hours and that I wasn't there all night like I usually am. Kind of lucked out that time. We're going to be hitting Syracuse here pretty soon. Upstate New York is so beautiful. Really like it up here. I don't know if I'd ever want to live here, but certainly enjoy driving through it. I hope you're enjoying coming along the ride with me. In case I forget to say it, as always, I'm just really happy that you're here. You guys are some of the best passengers I've ever had. I mean that. Main reason is that y'all can't do any commenting on my driving ability. At least not while you're here, you know. By all means, leave comments below and tear me apart for any mistakes you see me making. You know, anything that can help me improve, I'd definitely appreciate it. And if you're enjoying the video and you haven't done it yet, please consider subscribing. It really helps out the channel. Drop a like as well. Don't let the YouTube algorithms tell you when it's time to come and take a ride with Big Rig Ed. If you subscribe, you control your destiny. big piece of trucking news that's going around right now is apparently there's a bill being considered by Congress. It's got bipartisan support, and all the lobbying groups seem to be on board, but um, apparently there's a big tax break incentive being considered for truck drivers, kind of an incentive to keep those of us that are in the seats, keep us in the seats, and those of us that want to be in the seats to get their butts in the seats. It's a hell of an incentive if it passes. For current existing drivers like myself, we would get a $7,500 tax exemption, which would cover a significant portion of my taxes. That would be really nice. It's $7,500. That's if you work, I believe it was 1,900 hours in a year, which if you're a truck driver, then that's really easy to do. We work a lot more than that. 60 hours a week pretty regularly, so I don't know the exact number of hours that I work in a year, but I know it's a lot more than 1,900. And if you were a partial truck driver through the year, you get some sort of a portion. So, you know, if you're less than 1,900, you'll still get a portion, from what I understand from reading that news article. For brand new drivers looking to get into the industry, it's I believe it was $10,000, so they get a little bit more. It's kind of an incentive to get new people in the seats. I wish I got $10,000 when I started being a truck driver. That would have helped out a lot. Yeah. Instead, I got a bill for $10,000. That was the cost of my CDL training. It's $10,400, I think it was. During COVID, we've been taking advantage of the deferments that they've been doing, so I still owe a little bit of money on that. Not a whole lot. One of these days, I'll just write the government a check and pay it off. But yeah, I'm hoping that passes. I know it's not very good for the deficit or anything like that, you know, if I'm getting a little political, but on the same end, if I'm being a little selfish, $7,500, that would really help. Have you ever wanted to be a truck driver? If you're a non-driver watching this video, and, you know, at some point if you ever wanted to be a truck driver, but for whatever reason you didn't, tell me a story. Give me a comment down below. Tell me what happened. Why did you decide against it, or, you know, what direction did life take you instead? I'd love to learn more about my viewers. Alright, let's become a temporary member of the left lane gang and see if we can't slingshot around this guy. And do a little Talladega Nights faction here, a little shake and bake. Seems like this guy hauling this little guy here is going a little slower than the speed limit as well. No big deal. We'll get around him too. Uh-oh. Big puppy dropped another toy. I'll pick it up here in a minute. Normally I wouldn't bother so much with him dropping his toys, but the problem is that he's dropping his toys right underneath the tripod. Don't want him to jump down trying to get it and then knocks you guys over. We'd have to include that into the Joy of Hauling bloopers. If we ever get around to a blooper reel. Alright. We'll have to include me stuttering on his name, that's for sure. Alright, there you go, bud. Oh. Thought my cruise was set to 65, it wasn't. But yeah, when I was a CDL instructor, I met people from all walks of life. Some of them became very successful truck drivers, award-winning truck drivers. Some of them are still out on the road to this day and doing just fine. Being neighborly people out on the road. A lot of people didn't make it past their first year, as far as I know. Most truck drivers don't. Most truck drivers, they hit some sort of a wall, they hit some sort of a barrier. You know, whether it's pay or treatment or lifestyle or missing family or friends at home or some other obligation. There's something about this job doesn't jive well with most people that try it. And then they end up either quitting the industry altogether or maybe they get a local job, you know. But then there's also, you know, some CDL students that I trained that didn't quite make it through the program. Couldn't, you know, couldn't quite figure out how to double clutch a 10-speed transmission or how to back a 53-foot trailer. You know, there's some sort of block there. I always wondered what they ended up trying next. You know, as I was talking about in my first video there, you know, good thing about life is that you know, life is long. It's the longest thing any of us will ever do. Failing affords us the opportunity to try something different, try something new. I've met quite a few people over the years that have failed doing one thing or another and reassessed and reevaluated their lives, and honestly they're doing better now than had they succeeded in the first place. Because I knew what career path they would have had they not failed, and you know, now I'm looking at where they are now and they're doing just fine. So take that as your little inspirational quote, statement, whatever you want to call it for the day. Don't be afraid to try something new. Even if you fail, you never know what you might learn. You might be much better off having tried than have never tried at all. So I make these videos in partnership with a trucking lifestyle page called truckinglife.live. And I know every video I do a little bit of advertising for them, but if you haven't yet, consider checking out that page. We're doing a live show Sunday morning, and if you don't happen to, if you're not going to be available at 11 a.m. Central on Sunday, if you've got church to go to or some other event going on, or hell, I won't judge if you're just sleeping in. I don't blame you. I wish I could sleep in that late. But if you don't have anything else pressing going on, if you wouldn't mind, really appreciate it if you guys would come and watch this Sunday's show coming up. We've got a really good show for you. I'll be in front of the camera, and I got a good friend of mine that's joining along. We're gonna talk for a little bit about how we keep ourselves entertained out on the road. So you guys are gonna get to see a little bit of me and a little bit of what I haul around the country here inside of Sully. One thing's for sure is I don't think I could ever be bored inside of a truck. I've got plenty to do inside of here. Lots of things to keep me entertained. If you're a driver and you're watching this video, leave a comment down below. How do you keep yourself entertained? What's your hobby? I know some people cook. I knew one guy that he had a whole DJ table. He'd set it up in the back of his truck, and he'd sit back there and mix some sick beats. I know a couple of guys that keep collapsible, or what am I trying to say? Disassemblable. I know that's not a word, but just bicycles somewhere in their truck, either in their truck or out of their truck, and whenever they're parked somewhere, they put their bike together and they go for a little ride. I've considered getting one of those one wheels myself. I still kind of want one. They're basically like an electrified self-propelled skateboard, but instead of like a skateboard, it's just one big fat wheel. Problem is I'm not very coordinated, and well, there's a reason why. Well, there's a lot of reasons why I call myself Big Rig Ed. And I have to imagine if I ever fell down off of that thing, it'd be a pretty big impact. I'd probably be seriously injured. Being injured out on the road is no fun. I've done it. There's a few weeks back, I rolled my ankle really badly. Almost couldn't walk for a week. I've also injured my back before too. It's a big reason why I won't ever go back to one of my company's customers. Is you never really know what you're going to get when you get to your destination. And this particular place, they wanted me to take these 300-pound deep freezers and slide them from the front of the trailer to the back of the trailer. And if I were a guy that worked out a lot and was in really good shape and everything, that wouldn't be a problem. Problem is that I spend most of my time sitting in this seat right over here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that puts us at the 30-minute mark. I've been Big Rig Ed. This has been the joy of hauling. My little baby puppy Trip is starting to get curious about the tripod. Hopefully he doesn't knock you guys over. Now he's sitting on his hind legs begging for attention. No, I wish you all health, wealth, safety, prosperity, and everything that you do. And I hope to see you guys out on the road soon. If you ever see a GP Transco truck that got a big old sticker of Sully from Monsters Inc. on the side of it, come and knock on the door. Come and say hi. Even if it's in the middle of the night, because I know that Trip doesn't mind. He'd love to meet you. Alright guys, y'all take care out there. We'll see you next week. Thanks for riding with me.